Three Count podcast listeners, acknowledge us. I am Dylan Chambers. Alongside me is Ben Hobden. Benny, Happy New Year. What a week of wrestling we've had.
What a week indeed. Happy New Year to you, mate. Big week. Lots going on.
We've got a bumper show for you today. We're going to look at all the big news. There is plenty of it. We're going to give our thoughts on the day one pay-per-view. And a bit later, we're going to draft our top 5 tag team finishing moves. So that's going to be a bit of fun. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button for us. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, hit that follow button. Now, Benny, before we get into the news, I just want to share a little news of my own. In 2 weeks, I'm going to be sitting down with the Queen, Charlotte Flair, to do an exclusive interview for KO. We're going to have a little sneak peek on our Rumble preview show in a couple of weeks. But make sure you stay across our socials. I'll be putting plenty of stuff up about it.
Interviewing the GOAT, mate. The GOAT.
I'm a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
No, it's big coup for you, mate. I'm really proud of you. It's awesome.
Thanks, mate. Well, hopefully more to come. So,
stay tuned.
If I get the foot in with WWE, maybe there'll be a few more people coming our way, maybe even on the podcast. But
fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Now let's start with WWE and what I think is arguably the biggest news of the week. The Forbidden Door is ajar.
You called it 1 week ago. You called it. You asked for that as your preview for this year, and it's happening.
They must have been listening to me. Impact Knockouts champion Mickie James is going to be in the Royal Rumble. Impact was mentioned by Pat McAfee on air. Both WWE and Impact have mentioned each other on the socials. Even Scott D'Amore from Impact has said, congratulations to Mickie James for going through the Forbidden Door.
Yeah, it's massive news, and especially the way that Mickie went out. So, you didn't think she'd ever be back. She blasted WWE. So to bring her back, I know she's the champ, so they had to probably bring her back. But I mean, it's big news. It's big news, and let's see if there's going to be more to come.
It's huge. I'd be interested to find out the machinations of how it all came about, but hopefully that'll come out a little bit later. So Mickie will be in the Royal Rumble. Now, she's going to be joined by a lot of women. They've announced most of the competitors.
Yeah.
Charlotte Flair came out and she said she's going to be the first ever champion to enter the Women's Rumble. If she wins, she'll either take on herself or the Raw Women's Champ. So
either one will be a good match.
Either one will be a good match. Now we've got Rhea Ripley, Nikki ASH, Shotzi, Natalya, Dana Brooke, Carmella, Zelina Vega, Tamina, Aaliyah, Shayna Baszler, Naomi, as well as some blasts from the past. We've got the Bella Twins, Michelle McCool, Kelly, Summer Rae, Mickie James, as we mentioned, and Lita. So
yeah, Lita as well. No Trish this time, but I mean, still could happen.
Still time to announce it, but yeah, we'll see. No, it's good. I mean, SmackDown, I think, is down to 9 female wrestlers on the roster at the moment. So
yeah, there's not many out there, so they need to bring back a few.
They do. So that'll be fun to see. Now for the men's side, not too many confirmed so far. We've got the Mysterios, the Street Profits, Austin Theory, and Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah, opening up that weird little Drew Carey celebrity entrant from back in the day, Johnny Knoxville. It's weird to have him in there, but I mean, he did throw Sami Zayn over the top rope today, so he's already eliminated one person.
There you go.
He knows how to do it.
And surely he's happy to take a beating. So.
Oh, well, yeah, we all know that's the whole cross promotion with Jackass. So a bit of mainstream media getting in there. And I think it'll be funny, although the last time Jackass guys were in the ring, it didn't go so well. So
No.
Let's hope he does a bit better than Pontius and Steve-O.
Yeah. Now, plenty of roster news in WWE. Samoa Joe has been released again.
Out the door.
Poor Samoa Joe. Second time in a few months. As well as Road Dogg and William Regal. They are gone as well.
NXT, massive clean out. It's the 2.0 era.
Triple H's running buddies.
Yeah, all the Triple H's crew's gone. So Vince and Bruce Pritchard era now.
They're really
taking over. So
really going with this 2.0 era. Speaking of releases, so Toni Storm, we've got a little bit more news than what we reported last time. So apparently she worked a house show, then basically boarded a plane home, which she paid for herself, and flew home, took her ball, and went home. So
yeah, right. Well, they were saying burnout or something, weren't they? So
yes. There's rumors that she's burnt out. So we hope the best for Toni Storm. We love our Aussies over there. I was on the Gold Coast over New Year's. I didn't see her on Broadbeach, but
Didn't go to a house party, mate? No?
no
No?
Tony Storm house party, unfortunately. But we wish you the best, Tony Storm. We
Yeah,
hope to
good
see you
luck.
back soon. Speaking of wishes that we're sending out, Drew McIntyre. He's been diagnosed with a cervical neck strain with severe contusions. He's off the road at the moment, pending more medical examinations.
Yeah, not good. Neck injuries are never good. We've seen in the
No.
past that it's cost quite a few people their careers, even though they've come back.
Yeah.
But this is obviously an injury that happened before the match the other day, and then they wrote him off with the fight afterwards. So
the attack afterwards.
the attack, yeah.
Get well soon, Drew McIntyre. Now, Benny, there's reports that there's going to be a Saudi Arabian pay-per-view mid-February.
So soon.
So in between the Rumble and WrestleMania, which is an interesting spot.
Will that be the only pay-per-view in February, or will there also still be another one?
It could well be. They haven't announced another one yet. At the moment, there's just Rumble and Mania. So I guess we'll see. Now, makes sense for WWE from a financial perspective.
All about the Benjamins.
The deal is that if they hold 2 shows in Saudi Arabia a year, they get a guaranteed $100 million US.
So much money.
Good deal for WWE. Now, speaking of the Saudi Arabian pay-per-view, there's been a tease of a comeback.
Who are we talking?
The heavyweight champion of the world, Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King.
Ooh, the Gypsy King.
He has teased a comeback on Instagram, showed himself training, showed his ring gear from Crown Jewel a few years ago, saying that the Saudi Arabian King is coming back. There's some big news coming. Hold tight.
It'll be interesting to see what sort of role they put him in, though, because there's no really big guys for him to go up against that are good enough to carry a match, I guess. So
yeah, that's right. So, I mean, Rey Mysterio. There you go. That's
yeah, that'll be like the opposite of when Floyd Mayweather fought the Big Show at WrestleMania.
The Giant Killer. Let's do it. Yeah, that'll be interesting. We'll see what's happening with Tyson Fury. Now, speaking of the pay-per-views, there's a few Rumble matches which have been made already. Spoiler alert. We're assuming that you've seen the pay-per-view before listening to this, but we've got Lesnar and Lashley for the first time ever one-on-one for the WWE Championship.
Still cannot believe that they've never been in the ring together, like one-on-one.
Yeah, it's gonna be something. Yeah, a lot of people have been keen to see. I'm keen to see it.
Yeah,
I'd prefer to see them in the octagon. I think that'd be more interesting. But
wouldn't that be a pay-per-view?
It should be good. Got the Miz and Maurice taking on Edge and Beth Phoenix. And what is looking like one of your calls from one of your New Year's resolutions. You maybe called it a little bit early. Reigns and Rollins.
Yeah. Obviously, the end of SmackDown today, that was teased. The match was teased. So, interesting match. Like, I think they'll put on a great match. Obviously, 2 former friends. They should be able to hype it up. But, yeah, I don't know where that's going to go. Should be interesting.
Interesting to see where we go from there. We're also going to have some Alexa Bliss action next week, seeing what she's been up to. The road back for Alexa Bliss, apparently.
Yeah, is she going to be in the ring? Is she going to be? Or is it just going to be like a vignette? Or we don't know that, I guess. Yeah, but I would have preferred her to be just a Rumble entrant, surprise entrant. Then it would have been a massive pop.
That would have been fun. But I mean, she's a creative girl. Hopefully, we see something interesting.
No more Lily though. So
no more Lily. Thank goodness. Now we'll move on to NXT. Now we have a new NXT champion.
New champ.
At New Year's Evil, Bron Breakker defeated Tommaso Ciampa. His dad, Rick Steiner, got in the ring with him to celebrate. It had been 28 years since Rick Steiner had been in a WWE ring.
Yeah, and he won it with the Steiner recliner as well, which was good to see.
Love to see that. It's a great move. We also saw Carmelo Hayes unify, and by unify, we mean get rid of the Cruiserweight title.
Yeah, it's
unified the North American Cruiserweight title, so Cruiserweight title is no more. We've also got AJ Styles confronted our Aussie boy Grayson Waller on New Year's Evil as well, and now they're set to have AJ Styles' second ever NXT match.
That's massive for Grayson.
It is massive for Grayson. He's good. I like him. He's. I mean, we haven't really seen an Aussie heel like that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fun to watch for us.
Yeah, I agree. He's fun. And AJ is a great wrestler as well. So, I mean, they should be able to put on a good match.
They should. Now, moving on to AEW. Now, Tay Conti, Anna Jay, the Bunny, and Penelope Ford. They had a street fight on New Year's Smash. Benny.
Crazy. Well, one word. Say it with me.
Brutal.
There it is. Brutal. Blood, claret, whatever you want to call it, juice. It was flowing.
There was color everywhere. There was tables, thumbtacks, barbed wire. The three of them busted open. Blood just pouring out of the Bunny.
Yeah, it's like badly. Like you couldn't even tell who it was. She's got a new shirt with it on the front as well. It's just her face just covered in blood. So good.
Yeah, absolutely brutal match. Well done to the girls. That was great. Now we saw quite a few interesting matches on the first Dynamite on TBS as well. Now we saw Bryan Danielson get his first L in another epic with Hangman Page.
Great match.
Great match. I mean, not as good as the time limit draw, in my opinion, but
yeah, that's fair.
Still a very good match.
Yeah, I think it didn't hurt him by taking the L either. Obviously, he lost to the champ, so that doesn't hurt. But I don't think they could do a time draw again. They had to have a winner.
Yeah. I think we're getting a little bit sick of the time draws with Danielson, but yeah, brilliant match. Makes sense to give Page a little bit more credibility. We saw Jade Cargill become the first ever TBS champion by pinning Ruby Soho in the tournament final.
Yeah, I don't think that was ever in doubt, was it?
I mean, Jade is a monster.
Beast,
I don't know who's going to stop her, to be honest.
Yeah, she'll have a pretty long title reign, I'd say.
Yeah, so
and then move up and take on Britt. You'd think that's the natural progression.
Well, yeah, title v title eventually. That'll be maybe.
Well, yeah, she just relinquishes that one, and you know what I mean. Like once she keeps winning and stuff like that.
I mean, that's the long-term plan, right? To see Jade and Britt, surely, because I don't see anyone beating Britt right now that they're putting her up against.
No. If Ruby Soho had got that push and she couldn't even beat Jade Cargill, so like who's gonna beat Britt?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it looks like Britt's targeting Ruby now, so I guess we'll see some more Britt and Ruby action.
Yeah.
We also saw the AEW tag team titles change hands. Jurassic Express beat the Lucha Brothers in a fun spot-filled match.
Well, except for that one spot.
Except for that one spot, which wasn't so fun. Poor Ray Phoenix, a very nasty injury to his arm. Just
and
bent the wrong way.
Broken. I don't know how it's not broken.
Oh, yeah. It looked really nasty. He finished the match. What a baller. You know?
Yeah, how do you do that? Like, they are tough.
Yeah, they are very tough. We saw former NXT star Jake Atlas. He signed with AEW and has had his first two matches, the second being a losing effort against Adam Cole on Rampage, but very impressive from Jake Atlas. Cody Rhodes not going to be able to compete at Battle of the Belts due to medical protocol.
Yeah, doing his best Roman
impression. So we'll have Dustin Rhodes taking his place against Sammy Guevara to determine an interim TNT champion. Now, Benny, interim champion sounds to me. It sounds to me like Cody might be out for a while then.
Could be. If they're going to do it that way. But why wouldn't he just relinquish the belt?
That's what I was thinking.
So, and you know, Dustin's not going to win. Big Brother's not going to win. You know, Sammy's going to win.
Yeah.
And then obviously, I was thinking myself, so they do obviously champ versus champ. How do you do those matches? We had Razor and Shawn did it back at WrestleMania, put the both belts up and have a ladder match. That'd be a cracking ladder match between those two.
Oh, that'd be an incredible ladder match. Now, you know, if Sammy does win, you know, things are all coming up Sammy at the moment. So, you know, a little bit from the rumor mill, from the gossip mill.
Dylan's gossip mill. This will be a new segment.
My gossip segment. After announcing his engagement was off to his longtime partner, Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti have now made their relationship social media official.
Yeah, it's all over social media. Like just flooded.
They are pumping the content out.
Yeah, good on them.
Yeah, they look very happy. Well done, guys. And John Moxley looking at making his return in about 3 weeks for a GCW event to defend his GCW title against Homicide.
He's been there for a while, hasn't he?
Yeah, you'd think he'd be back to AEW soon after.
Well, I think, you would think so. But I mean, if he's going to be out longer, he'll just come back, lose the GCW title, and then be out longer, I guess. But if he wins it, then I guess he probably comes back. Look, we'd love to see him back for longer, of course. Like, Mox is awesome. Love
a bit of Mox. Now, in some other news, we had Wrestle Kingdom on as well. He was just pumping out the big pay-per-views. Now, Okada is now undisputed IWGP heavyweight champion. He beat Takagi in the main event of night 1, then backed it up, was in the main event of night 2 against self-proclaimed champion Will Ospreay. Another great match. I mean, Will Ospreay is, I don't want to say spot monkey, that's rude, but
he is a bit,
but he there's some incredible spots.
Oh yeah. But the Rainmaker, like, come on.
The Rainmaker, Okada.
He's amazing. He's one of the best.
Back to being the undisputed champion, and he has cited his desire to face Bryan Danielson or CM Punk.
Just put him in a triple threat.
Could we see the Rainmaker in AEW?
That would be awesome. You'd be probably more likely that Danielson would go to New Japan, but I mean, if he come over to AEW, there's so many matches he could have as well over here. He's already had quite a few, but I mean, his matches with Omega, like,
incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Like instant minimum 5-star matches. So.
Bryan Danielson and Okada would be, that's a 5-star match waiting to happen.
Yeah, Meltzer's just sitting there just going, oh yeah, get the 6-star ready, get the 6-star ready.
Get the 6-star ready. All right, let's move in to the day 1 card, Benny. We'll go through what happened. Now, on the pre-show, we had a tag team match between Sheamus and Ridge Holland. They defeated Cesaro and Ricochet. Now, I'm only mentioning this because poor Ridge Holland, he copped a Ricochet landed foot first on his face and broke his nose.
Didn't look good.
He had to be taken to the back. Sheamus finished the match alone, and well, he won the damn thing, hitting the brogue kick on Cesaro for the pin, but didn't look too good for poor old Ridge Holland.
No, it didn't look good at all. But as you said, that was the only thing that really mentioned that match. There wasn't much else going on there.
We won't spend too much time there. But, surprising Sheamus getting the win by himself, which makes me think maybe it was Ridge Holland that was going to get the pin on that one. But in any case, we move on to the main card. Now, we started off the pay-per-view, the day 1 pay-per-view with day 1-ish.
Down since. Great way to start. It was
Usos and the New Day. Another classic from these two. The Usos hitting a 3D or a 1D, as they're calling it, on Kofi for the pin. What'd you think, Benny?
Mate, I thought it was a good match. I gave it a 2 count personally. A bit of a tough grade, I think. But it was a match that had everything, but nothing that we hadn't really seen before. We've seen this match so many times. You know what I mean? But they still put on a good match. But the crowd was so hot. Like, they were just into the match crazy. So I think that really helped lift the match a little bit.
I think they picked the perfect time to have it as the first match on the card. I gave it a 2 count as well. I thought it was fun. And obviously we've seen a lot from these two teams before. I popped for the 3D. I'm not going to lie. That was pretty cool to see. So 2 count for me. Now, they went at it again for the titles in SmackDown in a street fight. Same result. This time, Kofi got put through a table with the 1D. What's next for these two, Benny?
Who else is there for them to go against? This is the problem. You know what I mean? Like, we've seen it so many times, so we want to keep seeing it. I don't really have a problem with it because they always put on a good match. But it's just tough. I think you've got to stop it. They need to go separate ways, and then we can come back to it at another stage, like 6 months' time or something.
We need something different to happen within the storyline. It can't just continue to be.
Yeah, but what other sort of matches could they have? If you know what I mean? Like, they've had every big match.
That's true. Have we seen a TLC? Probably.
I feel like we have. We've seen the Hell in a Cell.
We've seen Hell in a Cell.
We've seen, just a straight up ladder match. I don't know, but they introduce all of those things anyway in their matches. So that's where it's tough. Like, what else could they do?
That's
obviously true. Woods won King of the Ring, and they haven't really done much with that. So they
maybe
put him down the solo run, and then there's no.
Maybe with them putting Kofi through a table, maybe we're looking at like a tables match.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe we're looking at a TLC.
TLC. Yeah. Well, how far
TLC match between those two at Mania could be pretty epic.
Yeah.
But they need to keep them away from each other for the Rumble and whatever the Saudi pay-per-view is.
Yeah, I agree.
So we will see. Time will tell. Now we have the singles match between Drew McIntyre and Madcap Moss. Now, McIntyre put Moss over a little bit in this match, but McIntyre eventually got the win with a Claymore. I gave it a 1.5, and I was surprised at
Yeah.
me giving it that.
Yeah.
Because to me, it looked like a nothing match on the card, but McIntyre made Moss look really good. McIntyre always looks powerful. And I got a lot more out of the match than I thought I was going to.
Yeah. I thought Madcap really, like, I've written here that he really impressed me. Drew was selling a lot, he really put him over. Madcap looked strong. Like, some of the moves he was doing, I was like, oh, wow, he's actually quite strong,
He's pretty yoked too, old man.
He took a couple of slaps from Drew that wouldn't have been fun, I don't think. I wrote here 1 count up to a 1.5. So as the match went on, I'm pretty sure I just put a 1 count because I didn't think it was going to be anything at all. And then it actually, it impressed me a little bit.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a massive squash, but no,
Happy didn't get involved too much either. So, I mean,
no, I enjoyed it.
But
they made Moss look really good. Now later in the night, we saw Moss and Corbin attack McIntyre in the back. Basically, way to ride him off TV while he works on his injury.
Yeah.
We then had the Raw Tag Team Championship match. RK Bro.
Are you smiling already because you just know you can read my mind.
RK Bro, and they were joined by Migos on their trip to the ring, took on the Street Profits. Pretty good match. Ended with Riddle throwing Montez Ford in the air for Orton to hit the RKO and get the pin for the win.
Yeah, the finish was good. Obviously, the RKO out of nowhere is always fun. I'm so over that. I just can't do it. Like, I just hate RK Bro. Randy deserves more. I know you love Riddle, but it's just that whole big brother, little brother, the schoolyard thing. I can't do it. It really annoys me.
To me, it's not Riddle by himself, right? It's the chemistry between the two of like Randy just hating everything that he does makes it so much funnier.
Yeah, but then at the very end, like after every match, he's always happy with him and stuff, and then he sort of looks at him and goes, "Oh, what am I doing?" and then walks away again, and like,
yeah.
So the dynamic, I guess it is, but it's been going for too long for me. My biggest thing out of the match, well, 2 things: Montez Ford's flip over the corner posts. Yeah, that's so athletic. I love that. Every time he does that is so good. But my thing was, why did Migos come out with RK Bro if they weren't going to do anything? The whole angle was that they were going to turn. Surely they were going to turn, help the Street Profits win the titles.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought was going to happen the whole time too.
But is that why WWE did it? They just put them there to try and make us think that.
Give us the swerve? I think Migos just wanted to be out in the ring, and that was part of them allowing WWE to use their song as long as we can come out in the ring.
We just want to be in the ring and celebrate.
Yeah.
But because then Street Profits were celebrating with them at the end of the match and everyone was hugging and it was just weird.
Yeah, it was an all-in celebration.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think I want to see these two teams go at it again anytime soon.
I gave the match a 1.5 count, but then after all that stuff that went on, I dropped it down to a 1, which is not fair, but I mean, it should be a 1.5. But
I gave it a 1.5. It was what it needed to be. It was fun. It was enjoyable. Definitely needed a new opponent for RK Bro. Obviously, the Profits are now in the Rumble, so that keeps them off the radar for the next couple of weeks. But
but I can't see them. I think they'll just continue to have some sort of weird stuff going on, or RK Bro will be in just random tag matches because both of them will be in the Rumble.
Well, it's looking like they're building to this Otis Gable against RK Bro. Do you think Otis and Gable can win the tag titles?
Only if something happens between Randy and Riddle. Like, they're probably a better tag team. The other two are better individuals. So, I mean, but Randy and Riddle have got to be in the Rumble. So surely they're not going to have a tag match at Rumble.
No. Be interesting to see. Time will tell. I was really hoping that we were going to see a KO Rollins rivalry with RK Bro, but it looks like WWE have a lot more planned for Rollins.
Yeah. He's,
we then have next match off the board, Edge defeating the Miz. Now, you got to love when Edge comes out to the Brood music. Match went back and forth. Maurice got involved, slapped Edge, which is when Beth Phoenix made her appearance and chased Maurice out of the ring. Edge speared Miz for the win.
Yeah. So did you think it was a botch? What happened with Glamazon coming out?
So there was no music. She came out and then all of a sudden the camera just panned to her looking really angry. And then as she ran to the ring, the music hit. So
yeah, it was weird.
I don't know if it was a botch or not. I mean, if it wasn't, I feel like they made the wrong move.
Yeah.
And they should.
They were obviously going for those facials and everything of
Yeah.
hers and whatever.
I want to
else, trying
pop for the music. That's what
Yeah.
I want to pop
Like
for.
if they just had to hit that music and then she runs out, everyone goes crazy. You could already hear the crowd cheering even before they went to her on the camera. So you knew she was there.
It makes me feel like it wasn't a botch because they had the camera perfectly on her angry face before she ran.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
That's what, maybe they're going to use that in promos everywhere or something. But
very true. Yeah, go. Sorry,
I gave it a 1.5.
I gave it a 1.5 as well.
I thought it was good. I popped for the Brood entrance. These two are obviously great. I don't think we got I think they could do better.
Yes, I agree. For two veterans, it felt a bit clunky to me.
Yeah.
Edge sells so well though. Like he looks like he is dying, like from anything, and he just those facials he pulls and everything else. He just sells so well. But there was one move he did the execution off the ring apron to the outside, and I was like, that was crazy. Like that used to be his finishing move, and it didn't get any credit from anybody. I was like, come on, guys, that deserves more. McAfee should have said something there. Somebody should have said something.
No love from the commentators. Now we're going to see Miz and Maurice now against Edge and Beth at the Rumble. Do you think this will lead to anything after this, or you think we're done with this rivalry?
Hopefully done. Hopefully done.
I think we're done too.
Unless if it leads to a Beth and Maurice match or something like that, singles match. But who knows?
Yeah.
It's really tough with them. Like everybody's in weird storylines and stuff like that at the moment. You know what I mean? And to break up one, who do they go to? I think Edge deserves more. Miz just keeps doing that weird sort of fun character and stuff. I don't think he's ever going to be acting in the title picture at all. But yeah. Edge certainly could be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and surely both of them will be in the Rumble too, right?
You would think so. 100% you would think so. Like they're both two people that you could see winning it. If either of them won it, you'd be like, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
So.
I think I'm actually thinking about Edge winning again, which I don't want to see happen. But then I thought the Miz winning would be very unexpected.
Oh yeah, that'd be out there. They'll probably get Roman to win it again or something like that. You know?
Just to piss everyone off.
The Rock will have to come out. They've done it before.
They have done it before. Now let's move on to the Raw Women's Championship match. We got Becky Lynch against Liv Morgan. Now,
Dylan's favorite part of the night.
I know I'm a Liv mark. She's getting better and better in the ring, and she's so close to a title run. She went for the Oblivion. Becky caught her for the manhandle slam, got the 3 count. Now, I think Becky was supposed to be closer to the ropes and grab them. Looked like she grabbed for them, but she was too far away. But in any case, got the clean 3 count. No title for Liv yet.
Liv looked good. I thought she looked really good. Becky did all the right veteran moves throughout the match, I guess you could say, just to sort of get over and stuff like that. But I thought it was Liv's time. The promo beforehand, like the build up, it was just like, oh, she's going to win this. They had the baby photos, the little girl growing up, the wrestling fan. It was like, oh, she's on.
Oh, it so felt like Becky was going to drop the title. And I gave it a 2 count. And I think that was a lot because I thought it was going to happen.
Yeah, okay. I only gave it a 1.5 count. I think her character's building better and better every time, though. So, yeah. Much
better from Liv. She's just going strength to strength. Now, she has a triple threat match coming up against Bianca Belair and Doudrop for a shot at the title at the Rumble. How do you think this one's going to go, Benny?
Everyone would think that Belair's going to win, but I still think Liv will get another chance.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's my pick. I think Belair is going to win. And I think unless Liv wins the Rumble, could happen. She's in the title picture.
See, I think Belair will win the Rumble again, back to back.
There you go, back to back. All right.
Because I think you want Belair in the Rumble rather than fighting. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I think Belair wins the Rumble.
Can't wait for the odds to come out.
Early predictions.
And then we move on to the last match of the night. Now, Benny, how things can change in a day or two in this COVID landscape.
Damn you, Roman.
Our preview show was for the Lesnar-Reigns title match. Reigns tests positive for COVID. Lesnar's added to the fatal 5-way. It just smelt Like when they added Lesnar, it smelt like Lesnar was going to take it.
Yeah.
There's just something in the back of my mind that I just thought they're going to give him the title.
Well, I sort of thought maybe what they were going to do was, which what they're doing anyway, but it was going to, Brock and Lashley will sort of take each other out of the match, if that makes sense. And then I thought Big E still might be able to hold on to the title, just sneak it through. But yeah, it was a full-on match. Or well, it wasn't a match. It was more of just
it was a spot fest.
It was a full-on brawl.
So we saw Lashley spear Lesnar through the barricade. Then we had Big E put Lashley through the announce table. Lesnar hit F5s on Rollins, KO Big E. Then he got speared again by Lashley and put in the hurt lock, where kind of looked like it could have been over from there. Big E broke it up, hit Lashley with the big ending, then attempted to do the same to Lesnar, but got counted into an F5 for the win. So Lesnar pins the champ to win the title. I
thought KO or Rollins would come in and stop that, to be honest. I thought because the match was so quick.
It was.
Like, Brock took those steel stairs to the head pretty hard as well, though. Like, that was a full-on hit.
He did.
Like, there was no mucking around there.
No. And that spear through the barricade was pretty
it was a good one.
Hectic as well.
Then his head hit the chair behind it as well, because, like, Lashley was kind of like, oh, when he stood up, I was like, uh-oh, what's going to happen here?
But yeah, I gave it a 2 count. There was a lot of big spots. It wasn't a classic wrestling match. I think I'm giving it probably an extra half count just because it was an unexpected ending.
Yeah, I only gave it a 1.5 count, but that was just because it was all the action. As you said, it wasn't a match. As I said, I think it was too quick, to be honest. Like, it could have gone for longer.
Well, I was surprised. Yeah, I was looking at the kind of timeline. I watched it afterwards. It had happened, and it's like, oh, okay. There's only about 20 minutes left to go in the show.
Well, that's what I was saying. Yeah, I looked and I thought, oh, this has got to be something wrong here. It doesn't make sense.
And then I thought, no, classic Brock match.
Yeah, it was just a shame how badly Big E was booked for his title reign. Did you see the stat that he lost 6 matches while he was champion? Like, none for the title, obviously, but like tag team matches or triple threats.
Poor Big E.
Yeah, tough.
Yeah.
He got the Kofi treatment.
Yeah, surely they'll give him the title back at some point.
Well,
they've got to make up. It was a nothing title reign, which is a shame. He deserved a lot more. Yeah. But hey, he got to make plenty of appearances at big boxing events.
Yeah, plenty of comment. Oh, what was he doing? Calling them into the ring and stuff like
that. Now, interestingly enough, Benny, Brock broke Hulk Hogan's record for the longest time between his first and his latest WWE Championship victories.
Really?
So Brock's win at day one was 20 years after his first WWE title win in 2002.
20 years.
The previous record was Hogan, which was 18 years between his first and latest. So
I can't believe he's been around that long. That's scary, isn't it?
That is crazy, isn't it? So as for what's next, Lesnar is set to face set to face Lashley at the Rumble. Looks like we're getting Reigns and Rollins. One would assume Reigns and Lesnar in Saudi Arabia and WrestleMania.
Unless if The Rock comes back.
Yeah, that's true. They did tease Lesnar throughout the challenge of a champion versus champion match.
Yeah.
Reigns did not accept yet, but
and he also told Reigns to acknowledge him. That was interesting.
Yeah. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm expecting both men to retain titles, and we have a champion versus champion match at WrestleMania for the belts.
So undisputed.
An undisputed champion.
Wow.
That's that would make WrestleMania huge to me. To me, if they've just both champions and there's nothing else on the line, it doesn't mean as much.
Yeah.
Someone's got to win or lose a title.
Yeah, it's a massive main event. That's a massive WrestleMania main event.
Absolutely.
Where does KO go from here now that Rollins is gone? Their whole best friendship's gone over. Him and Big E maybe have a little rivalry. I don't know. Obviously, both of those will be in the Rumble.
Well, I mean, KO's theory, which he had, was, look, one of us wins it, and then the other one backs the other up until WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So maybe he sticks by his Rollins side.
Yeah. Just Rollins' little running mate.
Yeah. I think that'd make for a good kind of 2-man power trip.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
2.0.
What did you think of the pay-per-view overall, though, as a whole?
Overall, I thought it was just good.
Yeah.
It was,
There was nothing terrible, but it was nothing outstanding.
yeah, it wasn't great. It was just good. I enjoyed it, but if you want me to give the pay-per-view a count, I'd probably give it a 1.5. It was just
1.5, straight down the middle.
straight down the middle on the money.
Yeah, completely agree.
All right, Benny. Well, that is our day one recap and review. Now we move on to a bit of fun stuff. It's time for the 3-count draft.
Ooh, you love it, folks.
This week, we are drafting the best tag team finishing moves, our top 5. Benny, you get to draft first. I went on a really fun YouTube deep dive.
Down the rabbit hole.
Researching for this.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of great stuff out there. But Benny, you're the first cab off the rank.
Now, for me, I'm just going to do this one because I'm a Bret Hart mark and I love Bret Hart. So I'm going for the Heart Attack. Him and... back in the day, the Hart Dynasty days. Him and Jim Neidhart. Yeah, the Hart Foundation, Jim Neidhart, the Heart Attack for me.
It was kind of like a bear hug into a bulldog kind of thing, right?
Leaping clothesline over the top of Neidhart's head.
Yes. Yeah. There you go. The Heart Attack.
You got to remember back in those days as well, late 80s, early 90s, like people were winning matches with clotheslines.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like clothesline off the second rope was like, oh my goodness. So that was a pretty, back in the day, I just remember like all my youth was just always watching those two. So that's my number one.
All right. Well, I'm surprised you didn't take it, but I guess I'll take it with the number 1 pick. It's the 3D.
Yeah, look, I've got it here, but I think we mentioned it too much. I just had to let it go.
Okay, fair enough.
It's a great move. It was iconic. Always through a table. The crowd always popped. It was a great move.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. 3D.
All right. My second one, I'm going another old school tag team. I'm going the Brainbusters with the Spike Pile Driver.
Nice.
Yeah, that was lethal. Like Arn and Tully, just, they were scary.
All right. The Spike Pile Driver from the Brainbusters, pick 2. Now, this is, my next pick. I'm trying to think now of. There's ones that I like, but I know that you're not going to draft, so I'll leave them till the end. I'm going to take with my second pick the Meltzer Driver.
Yeah, that's fair. It was on my list.
From the Young Bucks.
Great move. All right, well, I'm going to go old school again. I've just gone all old school. I'm going the Road Warriors with the Doomsday Device.
Doomsday Device. It's a classic.
Yeah.
All right.
And spoiler alert, if you don't take it, my next one's going to be an old school tag team as well. So.
Okay. I think I'm going a lot more new school with mine. Yeah, they're all pretty new school and one's an old school one. Okay. I didn't think I would have all these at my disposal. So I'm definitely not going classics because I wouldn't say this tag team is a classic, but it's probably one of my favorite finishing moves to see them do. Now, it's Thor's hammer by the Viking Raiders.
Yeah,
pops him up,
throws him up, and then he grabs him and
power slams him.
Yeah,
just so good to watch.
Yeah. All right. Well, my next one is the Steiner brothers with the Steiner Bulldog.
Steiner
I don't know. Is that what they called it? I can't even remember what they called it.
It was either the Steiner Bulldog or the Steinerizer.
Right. But yeah, that was like doing a bulldog off the top rope was off the top of Scott's shoulders. Like Rick jump off the top rope. That was pretty brutal.
It looked pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I used to
love
that.
Just on a segue. I used to love when Scott Steiner used to do the Frankensteiner as well. Like Huda Conrada now, but I mean,
such a big dude doing it.
He was huge. Obviously, he got bigger in WCW days when he went solo, but just doing that with his long black hair back in the I remember. I think it was the WrestleMania in Las Vegas. They versed. That was just a crazy one. Like I don't know how he does it.
Yeah. All right. Now I'm going. I wouldn't say it's old school, but it is older. I'm going the Grand Amplitude.
Yeah, nice.
By American Alpha. And I think a lot of this move was Jason Jordan being able to get the guys so high in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how he did that.
Grand Amplitude, Jason Jordan, Chad
Whatever
Gable.
happened to Kurt Angle's son?
Last I heard, I think he was a producer backstage.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say
WWE.
like valet parking at Staples Center or something.
Yeah, something.
Nah, sorry, I shouldn't say that. All right, so last one. I had a couple to choose from then. I'm just going to go with one that it's not even that good of a move, but just so iconic. And when they did it, it was amazing. And I'm going with the Brothers of Destruction and the double choke slam.
The double choke slam. I didn't have that on my list.
Like you just think about like the Attitude Era and stuff like that. Anybody get caught in one side, Undertaker would grab him, and then Kane would come over and grab him as well. And they used to just get him up there. So it was pretty iconic.
All right. The double choke slam from the Brothers of Destruction. Now, with my last pick, this was one I was pretty sure you weren't going to take. I don't know if a lot of people will be across this tag team. They were pretty big in TNA for quite a while. The Motor City Machine Guns.
Okay.
Now, they had this move called the Thunder Express, which was amazing.
So we've watched the same YouTube video, I think, because I seen that and went, yeah, okay.
I purposely went in because I used to love the Motor City Machine Guns. I thought they were awesome. And I remember they had quite a few good moves. And there was probably about 3 decent ones to choose from. Now, the Thunder Express was probably my favorite of them.
Yeah.
All right. So, Benny.
Rounds it out.
Benny, rounds very old school from you, Benny.
Yeah.
We've got the Heart Attack from the Heart Foundation. We've got the Spike Pile Driver from the Brainbusters, is it?
Yeah.
Brainbusters. We've got the Doomsday Device Road Warriors. We've got the Steiner Bulldog or the Steinerizer from the Steiner Brothers, and the Double Choke Slam from Kane and the Undertaker. I've got the 3D from the Dudley Boys, the Meltzer Driver from the Young Bucks, Thor's Hammer from the Viking Raiders, Grand Amplitude from American Alpha, and Thunder Express from the Motor City Machine Guns. I'm telling you, go check that one out on YouTube. It's a good move. Did you have any honorable mentions, Benny?
Yeah, look, obviously the alley-oops we mentioned earlier. I said I love the alley-oops when it first came out.
That was my next off the list.
Yeah. Edge and Christian with the concerto. It was an illegal move, but I mean, they did that. And the Revival with the Shatter Machine. That was always
I was surprised you didn't take the Shatter Machine or the Goodnight Express, as they call it these days.
I hated the Revival. Hated them. But since we went to AEW and stuff, I've learned to respect sort of what they do and like, you know what I mean? So yeah, I've sort of got more into them these days. So, but yeah, I went with the old school name.
Nice. I had a couple. So the Package Pile Driver from the Lucha Brothers, where he kind of packages him up.
He bends
drops him as he jumps from the top rope. That's a pretty good one. One which seemed to come up a lot in a lot of the research. I'm sure it might have for you. The Total Elimination by Perry Saturn and Kronos.
Yeah, I did see that.
It was basically like a sweep kick and a back heel kick at the same time, which was pretty good. BTE Trigger by the Bucks is obviously a good one. There's one called the Fatality by the Dark Order, which was this incredible flipping off the top rope onto giving a guy a weird kind of tiger driver. It was pretty cool. Do you remember
all those indie fights, all those indie wrestlers that just come up with the crazy stuff?
That's right. That's right. Do you remember the Super Collider by Authors of Pain?
Yeah, I did see that where they picked them up and then smashed them into each other and then gave them the powerbomb. Yeah, I actually thought about putting that on the list, to be honest.
It was on my list. I thought it was pretty good. The Stage Dive by the Headbangers. I used to love the Headbangers back in the day.
I couldn't stand the Headbangers. Oh, that Mosh and Thrash, was it?
Mosh and Thrasher, yeah. Poor old Mosh got repackaged and it did not work out well for him. And then the last one I had was Poetry in Motion.
Yeah, but that wasn't really a finishing move, really, was it?
It wasn't a finishing move.
No.
That's why it was way down my list.
So you could also use the fact that Matt used to hit the what's his move called?
He used to do the Twist of Fate and then go into the Swanton. I was debating whether that was a tag team finishing move.
Yeah, well, that's why I didn't really use it either. There was another one that I popped up quite a few times was when HB, like DX, they was doing the super kick into the pedigree.
Yeah.
But I was like, that's not really. And I didn't think that was fair to the Sweet Chin Music because that was such a finishing move. Somebody takes the Sweet Chin Music, they shouldn't be able to spin around, walk across the ring and then cop the pedigree.
No, they should just fall over.
They should just fall over. So I didn't really like that.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Well, that's it.
I think I've got you covered, mate. You've got too many obscure things that people won't know enough of. So I think
maybe
I've got
I'll
you
put the
covered this
YouTube
week.
links in.
Oh, yeah. Get yourself
Then we'll
covered.
see. Then we'll
All right.
see.
Game on.
Motor City Machine Guns. I'm telling you, love them.
Might get you over the line.
That's it for our day one review. Thanks for joining us. We'll post the fantasy draft to the socials. Let us know who you think has the best list or what your favorite tag team moves are.
Yeah.
We'll be back in a few weeks to preview the Rumble. We'll bring you all the big news and results. Make sure you hit us up on the socials at 3CountPod on Twitter and Facebook, at 3Count Podcast on Instagram, or email us 3countpod@outlook.com. Make sure you check out my exclusive interview with Charlotte Flair in a few weeks. Now, Benny, once again, thanks for your time.
Thank you, mate. It's been a pleasure.
It's always fun, and we'll see you again on the 3 Count Podcast very soon.
Peace.